progress is not only just trying to see the fruits of our labor, so to speak. All right, academic, students holistic development, staff development, organizational. All right, so yes.
When you say that you meet regularly, what's your definition of regularly?
So the management team meets once a week. All right, that's within secondary, same for primary. We meet all together school-wide, all right, end of each academic year. Okay, so we hunker down and actually talk about across the school, across the 14 levels, what are the things that we do in common? How do we actually apply backward planning? Okay, so that's another thing that we're trying to do here. What you want to see at the IB levels, all right, how does it cascade down all the way down to the primary? Okay. All right, so I will talk a bit about academics, but this was something that our principal talked to parents about at the start of the academic year. So at the start of each year, we have a parents-teacher meeting, and that's when the principal say about where we are right now and what we hope to do. And this slide they actually didn't share with the parents because they are already out on the internet, on our school website, and we want to actually gloss over that. We actually want to steer our parents away from this emphasis on academic. But you'll be surprised to hear that our parents are still very keen on this. If we ask you things like, what do your top students have? Can you give us a breakdown by A's and A stars in each subject? Even there was a recent news site whose journalist actually contacted the school and asked for such breakdown as well. Because I think Hong Kong there's this what I feel is a healthy sense of stress on academics in terms of exam performance. But we know we can't get away from it, but we try to steer our parents to another direction. So these are the achievements we have. Our emphasis is on how well do the students do based on what we see. We do take a look at what other schools have performed, but we try not to game the system. I'll talk about the gaming things. There are a few things you can play actually as a school, but we try to stay away from that. All right. This is secondary 4, what they call grade 10. That's what they achieve at IGCSE. Our students, quite a few of them actually take exams as well at the end of secondary 3. Math, I would say, is pretty strong here. All right, it's got to do with the Singapore math curriculum we've started even since primary school, and therefore our kids are pretty well prepared. I think among the proportion of students doing additional math, okay, which I think you probably call honors math in high school with calculus, with trigonometry, that's part of additional math. There's a high proportion of kids doing that, close to 80% of the cohort is doing additional math. All right. Yes.
When you said they steal your parents, what does that mean?
When parents ask certain things, all right, or when they make certain requests, they want to know more information, and a lot of information they want to do, a lot of awards they want us to give will be academic. And we can say, okay, we understand your point, but we've got a certain foundation, let's look at other things, let's get holistic, let's recognize students who are good in performing arts, sports, things like that. And there's certain information we will not disclose to parents as well, so we seek an understanding.
So I'm sorry, just to be clear, and I might have missed this. This is a Singaporean school,
yes,
which is built for Singaporean parents living in Hong Kong, families living in Hong Kong, with the intention that they might go back at some point, but they're keeping both culture, language, and educational.
Okay, good point. Yeah, that's what we started off with. The primary school, when the school when it first started was only a primary section only. The intent was exactly what you said. After primary school, after grade 6, we foresee the parents moving back to Singapore. All right. The reason why it was set up here in Hong Kong was because it was this drive by the Singapore government to encourage people to go overseas, especially to China, to invest and to work. As years go by, we find that a lot of parents here settle down. Okay, they will want their kids to stay on in Hong Kong to secondary and high school education, and the attrition of the upper primary grades was really high as a result because they would want their kids to go on to other international schools here after primary 4, primary 5. So that's when the secondary section came about. And I think now our recognition is that the Singaporean students who stay with us are likely to stay for the long haul, at least up to grade 10 now. Okay, a couple of them will still stay to grade 12. But our philosophy about catering to Singaporeans still remains. Okay, we are still here to cater to Singaporeans first. So that is articulated in our admissions policy. So basically, any Singaporean child who applies to us, regardless of ability, we are obliged to them.
Wow.
Okay, so our profile is a bit diverse in terms of ability compared to what you will see in typical Singapore schools where you have streaming. Okay, I'm not sure how much you know about the Singapore system, but we have streaming after grade 6. So here we don't do that. Once they come in, a Singapore child will lock them in. Hong Kong students is a different queue altogether. They have to be admitted on the basis of merit, which we define as performance on admissions, test, and interview. So us interview is more important. How you relate to kids when you see you interacting with them before the interview is proper, and how you interact with the interview is nice.
And where is the expectation that they'll go to university?
We have left it quite open. I'll show you the university.
Okay, sorry.
So no problem at all. Okay, IB results. We only have 2 cohorts. Okay, a very small year group, 23 and 34. The reality is that when we first started, not many parents have confidence in us. All right, that's the reality for most international schools that are starting. So we have very small year groups. We are seeing that increase. We have no wish to expand really quickly either, because again, coming back to providing for our Singaporean students and students with us, our emphasis is on the quality of education we receive. All right. So not too particularly concerned about that small class size. We are happy that the students who stay with us, they did pretty alright. Okay. We look at what other international schools have, how they perform. We are in no anxiety to overtake them, because particularly in the first few year groups, these kids, alright, some of them stay with us because they have no other international schools to go to. That's a reality. Okay, some of the kids are not academically strong, but by dint of the culture here, which I think is really important for achievement, they manage to do pretty well. Okay? So let me just share with you the university matriculations. Some of our boys, Singaporean boys have gone back for national service. So after high school, they go back for national service for 2 years, after which they go on to university. So we have about, I think, double digit, okay, 10 of the kids right now are doing that. This is the spread of colleges or universities that are going to. Surprise, surprise, okay, expectations, we have let it be. The parents are the anxious ones. The parents, especially of students who are not in the diploma program, have been asking, how is your placement in US colleges? They always eye US, alright? Our stand is, we will leave it to the child. And the profile of the first 2 year groups is such that a lot of them want to stay in Hong Kong. They feel that they still want to be near to their family, so you do see a larger proportion of kids choosing to stay in Hong Kong. Alright? Followed by, I think, UK. US is a destination that's grown, there's a growing interest among the current diploma program students. But it wasn't that strong in the first 2 years. Okay, so we don't have any experience as a school. Our point, our university counseling philosophy is that we tell them that's correct. They make a decision. It's about it. Okay.
We have to put University of Southern California on that list.
we've had students who applied, I think, right? And I understand it's really popular. It's just that I think when the offers came, when they have a few choices,
right.
Okay, they did not choose pin down.
That's because they haven't been to Southern California.
Yes, question.
For those who are applying for United Kingdom
Yes.
colleges, do they take GCSE or are they using the IB results to go?
They would have the IBCSE results beforehand, which they would submit to the university. So the IBCSE actually helps. Alright. Okay. So that's our school. I'll just share with you my curriculum. Okay. I mean, contrary to what outsiders may think about Singapore education, yes, we emphasize a lot on academic, but I think at the core of it, the Singapore education philosophy is pretty domestic, if I can describe it that way, which is that we always want the kids to be useful citizens of the nation. Okay, it hasn't been very international until recent years. Alright, so back in Singapore, it was a very national-based curriculum. I think the philosophy when it comes to here will be, again, we emphasize on values. We think that the emphasis on our school values, which are the same as what the Singapore curriculum espouses, are important. They are the ones that will help the child go ahead. Alright. On top of that, that's the IB learner profile. Again, these are soft stuff, I would say. Alright, not really about content, but more about either process skills or ability to collaborate with others, think critically. So these are the soft things we try to focus on. Student leadership and development is something that we look at. I'm not sure how strong we are compared to other schools. We do have feedback from some parents saying that we could do more. Alright, but I think the overall, at least the climate here, the students here are pretty well behaved and disciplined. I think as a result, I think probably due to the family backgrounds, they come in probably knowing that you come to school to study and to learn. It may not be within just the classroom, but you come in, be respectful of others, not be disruptive to your learning, observing integrity in your work, do not copy, things like that. So I think that actually helps the teachers to build on that kind of unspoken understanding to do more things for the child. Right? Okay, coming back to the curriculum structure, we do have 2 international exams, IB and IGCSE. The IGCSE we see as sight-posting, meaning that if the child doesn't do that, to us that really doesn't matter, okay? Because here we actually insist on a suite of subjects, right? Which as a result of which the child may not be able to get all A's or A star. Okay, we have certain requirements for them to adhere to, right? So one humanities, additional math as far as possible, and the child may not do that well as a result. We say that is our curriculum philosophy. We have to offer that suite of subjects. Okay, so to us it's a signposting, and so we see that as okay. Let's see how you do, and then they go on to IB. No student is kicked out as a result of poor performance at GCSE. Our minimum requirement is just 5 C's, and it's a very low bar for our kids. No child has got less than 5 C's on GCSE so far. All right, it's a very low bar for our kids. They managed to clear. Some of them we are still concerned about with regard to ability to cope with IB because it's quickly, but we still let them. Okay. Prior to that, it's all internal examinations. All right. Particularly in the primary section, you will see that the links between the math and science curriculum and the Singapore math and science curriculum are pretty strong at the primary level. Lower secondary, it starts to be a bit of a deviation, but we do use the textbooks for mathematics. We import the textbook to Singapore. It's the same Singapore textbook that we use for mathematics from primary school all the way to secondary too. Okay, so coming back to the idea of backward planning, coming back to academics, the backward planning is important, and there were talks, there have been talks all this while, maybe not that frequent, but at least a few times a year, between the heads in the primary and the secondary section about what backward planning actually means. What does it mean for a particular curriculum? Alright, so for primary side, okay, English, Chinese, math, these are what they have done, and we see that as preparing the kids for secondary section. Yes.
When you say famous authors, is that contemporary as well?
Yeah, contemporary as well as the classical. So the reason why I say that is, in Singapore, the Chinese curriculum is based on a list of vocabulary. It's vocabulary based. We see that as not really ideal to language learning. It should be exposure to different text types, for instance, all right, and different genres, okay, in terms of time period. So that's the shift you have made. So the Chinese curriculum, English curriculum have deviated from the Singapore quite a bit, all right. So math, quite similar, very similar to what you see in Singapore. You call it Singapore math, I reckon, all right, but I'm not sure actually what stands us apart, all right. Spiral, heuristics, modern method, science as well, strong links to the Singapore curriculum.
Please excuse my ignorance. Cantonese or Mandarin?
Mandarin. Okay. Reason why we offer Mandarin is again what we have learned from Singapore. I think even in 1991 we recognize that China will be an emerging power. Okay, and that's a language that will help you in the commerce in the workplace. Right, balanced suite of subjects. Alright. Now the thing to note here is that starting from lower secondary and even in primary school there is no easier track except for Chinese. Alright, so every child offers the same and needs to adhere to the same standards of expectations. Alright, Chinese is something that we recognize that some kids have been away or abroad for too long, and therefore when they come to secondary one, it's the first time they are exposed to Chinese, so we make concessions. Alright. Okay, so science. Alright, so going on to Sec 3 and 4, so the balance suite of subjects. Just to give you a context as to what international schools here in Hong Kong do if they offer the IGCSE. They will require English, Chinese, World Lit, compulsory, math is compulsory, and they like to offer triple science. For some reason, there's this fixation among Hong Kongers about offering biology, physics, and chemistry. Okay, our philosophy is a bit different. We say that at least one, most students will offer 2. We're not going to force it to do 3. Alright, but we insist another humanities subjects. That means on top of World Lit, you must do either history, geography, or global perspectives. Yes.
On the prior slide, you said there are no easier tracks. Back to your introduction, you said that there's no string. You have to, every student is accepted. So how do you meet the needs of students, of a range of students when there is no easier track?
We have been lucky so far, although it's no easier track. The students we have got so far are they are not that wide in subject. There's still room for teacher to differentiation within the classroom of 25. Alright. Going forward, we do see a great proportion of students with special needs and learning needs